It is one of the fastest growing trends in travel. Getaways for women, alone or in groups. But women travelers have unique and very specific needs and desires. Just ask Jennifer Weatherhead Harrington, the founder of Travel and Style magazine. She's been to 67 countries. She was just giving me her packing tips, by the way, and she's got some great travel advice today for the ladies. Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. You know, summer is travel time, of course.
It is.
What is it? Why are more women traveling either alone or with their girls, their lady friends these days?
So travel has never been easier, number one, to get around, and it's also incredibly safe these days. So it makes women feel a lot more comfortable when they're traveling. And I would say if you're not comfortable doing a completely solo trip on your own, you can go with your girlfriends, or you can go and join another group tour. So you're not going with your girlfriends or your family, but you're going to go and meet new friends. So tour groups like Trafalgar are great for this because then you can join a bigger group. You get a lot of alone time still, but you don't have to worry about the hassle of transportation from place to place, or having dinner by yourself if you don't want to. That
is an awkward moment, right? In the hotel,
it's a good way to ease into it, right?
Yeah. And so what are some of the specific needs and desires that women have? It's different from mixed groups or men, right?
Yeah, so I think a lot of women want to travel with other women, and they want to feel safe and comfortable in where they're going. But I think those are probably the two main things. And a lot of women these days, in terms of travel trends, they want to immerse themselves into the culture that they're visiting. So there is actually another great travel company that just launched in Canada by a Canadian woman, and it's only for females. So she takes them. She actually organized Jordan trips, which we're going to talk about in a bit. And it's called Millie, and it has 10 to 12 females on each trip, and they really immerse yourself into the culture that you're going to visit.
And I bet you meet so many great women and make friends that last a lifetime.
Lifelong friends,
so let's talk about Jordan. Prince William recently included it in his first ever visit to the Middle East, and of course Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, grew up a little bit there. This is one of those Middle Eastern countries that draws a lot of Westerners. Why is that?
Because it's incredibly safe, and a lot of people might associate it as not being safe because it's part of the Middle East, but it really is, and it's particularly safe for women. They're a very welcoming country, but it's also beautiful. There's so many incredible things that you can see there. From the desert of Wadi Rum, you can camp out there at night. You can visit the historic sites of Petra, which are also an incredible tourist destination, but a must-see. There's also the Dead Sea, which is great for women because if you're concerned about skin and you want to do some exfoliating and something healthy, relaxing, you can float in the Dead Sea. The mud is amazing. And then there's also the great cities. You can do local fish market dinners in Aqaba, especially if you go on a tour group like Millie.
Love it. Okay, let's touch on Asia now. Japan, my husband's been a couple of times. I'm a little frightened by the fact that they don't use the alphabet, so I know I won't know any of the language. And the food is quite exotic as well. Why should women choose Japan?
So Japan, like you said, might be a little off the radar for people, but it's actually one of the best countries for females because it has an incredibly low crime rate, and a lot of hotels there actually have female-only floors.
Really?
And same with traveling by train. You can get a female-only train cabin as well. So that's really great, and it makes women feel safe and protected if you're on a tour group or by yourself.
It's a very developed country, so you're going to have all the modern amenities and all the comforts of home,
and you get to see things like the cherry blossoms in the spring, and I know it's a little adventurous for food, but who doesn't want to go on a good hunt for the best ramen?
Right?
I would do that.
And yeah, yummy, yummy, and get in your fair share of seafood. Of course, Europe remains perennially popular, but not everybody thinks of Portugal. Spain is a classic, and France, but Portugal's a great option for women. Why is that?
It is, because the cities like Lisbon and Porto are really manageable. They're not too big. They're easy to walk around. It's not going to be too overwhelming. They're becoming more and more tourist-friendly, so that means English is spoken a lot more frequently than you might think. The food and the culture are great, and it's also one of the most affordable countries in Europe right now.
That's right. I hear this a lot.
So if you're going with a group of friends or on a tour group or even on your own, it's a really good spot to go if you're a little bit more budget conscious.
I love that idea. Now, the one country everybody should visit before they die, so they can eat their way across and do great shopping, is, of course, Italy. And we've seen movies of women traveling to Italy. It's so romantic. It's still a great choice.
What's not to love about Italy, right? The food, the wine, the history, the sights. It's incredible, but it is so tourist friendly. Pretty much everywhere you go, people are going to speak English. It's also a great spot if you want to meet up with other people. There are so many tourists there, so you can meet up in day groups or join another tour, meet new people. It's just a really fun way to sort of interact with other people, but still be on your own and feel safe.
So where's the one country you want to go that you haven't been yet?
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
Something at the top of your list?
Australia. I have not been to Australia.
You've not been to Australia?
No.
That's because it's so far.
It is far, but I go really far all the time, but I just need to get there. Yeah.
Well, I'll cross my fingers for you that 2018 or 2019 has Australia on your itinerary. Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Thank you.
It's inspiring to think of traveling with the girls, that's for sure.
It is.
All right, if you want more information, of course, Travel and Style magazine is Jennifer's magazine, and you can find her website at travelandstyle.ca. Ian.
Some great places to visit there. Thanks very much.